Great. Hi. Welcome. This is Sue Carney of Magnolias West hosting our New Moon Circle for today. And this is a conversation I'm having live with Sharon and anybody else who jumps onto the call. And will also be recorded and put in our Facebook group so that you can see it later on. As if all goes well, they'll be there forever in case you want to look back as the year progresses. So I was, just a little brief introduction, I was motivated to bring this into manifestation when right around the election, honestly, right around the election, I was, as many of us were, just completely shocked and appalled. And you know, if you just remember back to what it was like in that second week of November to walk around looking stunned, there were a lot of stunned people out there. And so witchy lover of women's circles that I am, I thought that it was a really good idea to create a way for us to get together right before the new moons or right before the full moons each month to support each other. And when I started this, I really had in mind that it would be that I would be able to say what the focus would be, which I'm finding out it may not be true. So my idea when I started this was full moons are really good times to talk about prosperity. We'll do that. And at the full moons, and new moons are that time for divination and intention setting and releasing what has got to go so that you can make room for the intentions that you're stating. And yes, all of that is still true and will probably carry through as themes as we go. And yet now, day 5 post-inauguration, is it 5 days? Really, that's all post-inauguration. I wake up in the morning and I see the word hysteria wants to come out of my mouth, but I don't want to say it. But fear and discouragement and disheartenment and anxiety and a lot of just this kind of energy in my Facebook feed and in blogs that I read, and I'm getting what I've really been clear on for the last couple of weeks. As an old woman as I am, I lived through the 60s and the 70s. I had my consciousness raised in women's circles in the 70s, and I sat around circles with other women where things that many of us thought we were the only ones that ever thought this way, we're able to find that we are not, that there's some magic that happens when you find out that you're not unique and that you're not the only one having this confusion, this pain, this anxiety. So I think women's circles, I saw the magic that they did back then. I saw the change that happened in our society back then that I think we as women in circle were a huge part of. And I lost my train of thought there for a second. And so anyway, I feel really called to invite women to circle up now, because when this happened 4 decades ago or however long it was, rights changed in our country for the better. Civil rights, women's rights, reproductive rights, marriage rights, workplace rights, all of that changed for the better. And now even in 5 days, I'm seeing government agencies being shut down, funding being shut off, just all kinds of. We need to find our voices. We need to find our voices together. And that's why I invite you to come and circle with me and be supported in figuring out what action it is you're going to take. This has not become a political rally. This is not what I'm doing here. Instead, what I'm doing is taking a stand for every woman to be able to not get stuck, to keep staying connected to her heart, staying connected to your heart, being able to feel grounded, being able to take action, whatever that may look like for you. Be able to move forward in your business, in your life, standing sovereign in your wisdom and knowing that it's valued. And we can do that. We can start that really well by valuing each other. So, welcome. We're just two of us live on the call, but I want to invite you, Sharon, to introduce yourself and say a little bit about what's present for you today.
Okay. Well, that was beautiful and powerful and true. And I am definitely someone who, in my heart, has considered myself, I suppose, an activist, but in my actions, not necessarily. And I also feel that the current political climate has really lit a fire under my butt. And also that we have to come together and be, vocal and be sovereign. I love that word. So, I'm doing that in my own life and in my own business, showing up more, speaking up more, inviting more people to join me in doing whatever they need to do to be empowered and whole and healed. So it does feel like a critical time, and just happy to be showing up in whatever ways I can and taking advantage of what you're offering here.
Thank you. Yeah. So let's take a minute to get grounded together. And if you're listening to this call on recording, you can follow right along. If you can just put down whatever's in your hands and just let your eyes, as I was just looking, when I was preparing for the call, I pulled a couple of my Tai Chi teachers' books off my shelf, Professor Cheng Men-Ching. And he talks about, one of his articles about meditation, he talks about the eyes are heavy like curtains. It's not, they don't close all the way, but it softens your gaze. He said you don't want to close them all the way so you don't fall asleep. So your eyes are weighted like curtains and your gaze is softened, and feel like you're sitting relaxed and alert. One of my meditation teachers says your spine is straight, and every time I hear her say that, I add as you can. So your spine, you have attention, the intention of attention in your body. And if you can feel your feet on the floor, more the better. Imagine that you're being connected through your feet into Mother Earth. Connected to Mother Earth and to every being that shares this planet with you. And we'll just take a couple of breaths together. And imagine, as you inhale, imagine a light that comes from above. It's kind of like a gossamer cord that comes right to the top of your head. It's connecting you to heaven. So now you're connected to heaven as well as to earth. You feel that shimmering energy of life force enter through the top of your head and travel kind of in this luscious, drippy way down your body. So the shimmering light is kind of liquidy dripping down your body and covering you in this shimmery light. It's also inside you. And as it moves down your body, out through your feet, this shimmering light descends into the earth. And it's a substanceless, substantive cord of light and love and energy. And it reaches out without you even efforting this. That cord reaches out and finds the cord of gossamer light that other human beings have, connecting them to each other and to Mother Earth. And feel those cords intertwine. And let that moving through you be a positive invitation to your own life force and your own creative push and your own desire to be of service in the world, and your own desire to support and be supported those that are coming, that work with you and that are coming after you. Feel that light extending out and connecting you with the people that you serve, the people in your community, the people in your life, the people in your family, and the people you've not yet met. And recognize our common humanity, and let that pull back up right into your center, right back up through your feet, through your legs, through your yoni, into your belly. Feel that glow even stronger in your body. And let it pull up to your heart and to your mind. Let that kind of Ouroboros shape we just made of shimmering love and light resolve into a bright light inside you as you come back to the room and open your eyes. So, that was pretty amazing. So I've been thinking about goddesses the last couple of days, and how those of us that have worked with the goddess in our spiritual lives, she's often called She of 10,000 names. Every culture has had goddesses, and she's got different names and different attributes. And I'm feeling really with where we are on the calendar. Let's talk about the moon for a minute and bring the goddess into the conversation. We're at the new moon in Aquarius, and this moon kicks off the solar new year, the Chinese solar new year of the fire phoenix. You probably have seen this described as the year of the rooster or the year of the chicken, but actually that noun, I understand, can be translated as phoenix. And since phoenix is a bird of, to me, much more of a bird of transformation and rising from the ashes than a chicken or a rooster, I'm going with phoenix. The Lunar New Year comes, and right after that comes the Celtic festival of Imbolc, which is, Imbolc means used milk, lamb's milk, and must be used milk. This is a time of year in the Northern Hemisphere when, sorry, my gaze drifted down. I'll try to remember what I'm doing here. When the lambs and the baby animals are born, and it is a time, it's a time of initiation, pledging, and commitment. So we have the Chinese New Year energy, we have the phoenix, these are all the things that I feel are informing where we're at right now. We have Imbolc coming, a time where you can initiate, in my tradition, when you initiate and get ordained, you do it at this time of year at Imbolc. So it's an invitation. It's an invitation to ask yourself, how am I going to show up right now? It's also, Imbolc is said to be Bridget's festival. She is a triple goddess, a Celtic goddess who is goddess of the hearth. She's a creation goddess and a healer. So that's her triple aspects, and she really is inviting, asking, demanding that you make what it is you're supposed to make in the world, or take the actions you're supposed to take. The other goddess who's been in my head has been Hecate, who's the goddess of the crossroads. Sorry. She's Greek, I'm pretty sure. And she stands at the crossroads with a lantern illuminating the way, and she has keys in her pocket, but she doesn't tell you which road you're going to take. She just illuminates the choices for you. So I have Hecate on one side and Bridget on the other, and this energy of the new moon in Aquarius. And Aquarius kicks ass. Aquarius is visionary, revolutionary, and the Aquarians and Aquarius has been associated with tremendous change in our culture over the years. So these are the things that are running around in my head, and makes me want to ask, we can have a little conversation about this, about choices. What have you been seeing as choices for you, and what choices are you deciding to make, Sharon? And I mean not just about the political picture, but in your life. Are you feeling any kind of different way of looking at, or different level of clarity around this kind of question? Yeah. And if you're listening to this on the recording, please comments, you be in the conversation, please. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. No, it's really cool, because I'm not very goddess oriented myself. So I don't usually think in those ways, but I've definitely been called to show up differently, and I have been initiating things a lot more. I've been there's a real sense of things shifting, of showing up in very different ways, of a different level of willingness to speak up. I never wanted to really, quote unquote, sell my services, because I didn't want to seem pushy or, like I think I'm better than anybody else. But the truth is, what am I serving? Who am I serving? How am I serving? If I'm not letting people know what I do and how I might be able to help them. That's what I'm here for. So I've definitely been initiating, showing up in different ways. I like that. I know very little about Hecate. Is that how you say it?
I say Hecate.
Hecate. Because I have the Mother Piece round tarot cards, and I believe she shows up there.
Yes, she does.
Lantern lighting the way, but then you have to choose the path. And I feel like my choices have been more clear lately. I haven't been as lost in confusion as I was for a while about, what's the best, way to go about promoting my business, or how do I do networking, and, all that stuff. It's just all of a sudden, it feels like it's almost like there is somebody that's been holding up a lantern, and my eyes are open in a different way, and I'm able to see the path forward, and I'm just taking it. And if it ends up being, maybe not the most optimal path, I choose another one.
Right. Well, that's another thing, that when the light's being held up and you can see that you're at a crossroads, that you're not stuck going one way. I think that's a really important message for us right now too. Yeah. That we don't have to. That change is still available. That change is still available, and a different path can be chosen. Yeah. So that's really important. Yeah. Well, I wanted to teach a really awesome massage I learned a million years ago. I don't know why I was drawn to go back to my Tai Chi teacher's books this week, but I was, and I'm not going to question it. And that one still has the bookmark I put in here many, many years ago so that I can always find this massage. And I just want to make sure I don't teach you it the wrong way. Okay, so its first three are out and the last two are back. Okay, so this is a massage. This I'm going to read. This is Professor Cheng Menching's writing about this finger massage. He says, the fingers can be thought of like the nozzle of a garden hose, the entire body being the rest of the hose. Having the chi flowing in the fingertips is like the water flowing out of the nozzle of a hose. It is a sure indication that the water or chi is circulating through the rest of the hose. This massage is not only beneficial for the hands and circulatory problems like arthritis, but it's good for the entire body. And he also says it's really good for headaches, and that's what I've used it for years, and I find that it works. And he says not good for headaches caused by indigestion, but good for tension headaches. So what you do is you take your active hands and you, from the wrist out, you start with your thumb and you just go out for the first, second, and third fingers. And then the fourth and fifth, you come back in. So you go out for the thumb, the pointer, and the middle fingers, and then in on the ring finger and the pinky, and you do it 21 times. And that's it. So I haven't been doing it in a while. It feels really good. I can feel the chi in my hands as soon as I do it. But that's kind of easily accessible for me because I'm in my 5th decade of doing Tai Chi nearly every day. So can you feel it? Anything in your hands? The energy?
One hand and then the other hand? Or you
That's how he doesn't specify. So you can do it however you want.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't come across this one at all.
So when I put the recording in the Facebook group, Sharon, I will type up these instructions in case you want to look back at it.
Great. Yeah,
because I don't even know if this book, There Are No Secrets, is even available anymore. It may be. Okay, well, we're coming up on the end, and I pulled a card for us. So I pulled out my Mythical Goddess Tarot deck today. Is this right reading or wrong reading, Sharon?
It's actually right.
So it's not like Facebook Live that flops it.
Exactly.
So weird. I've held cards up on Facebook Live, and then when you play it back, it's all backwards. Yeah, it's weird. No? So this is the, good, you'll be able to see it when I hold it up. This is an Earth card, and she's the Crone of Ascension. In this deck, instead of a Knight, Page, King, and Queen for each suit, there is a child, a maiden, a mother, and a crone.
Nice.
At the end of each of the minors. So she stands for Ascension, which I thought was right on. She stands for Ascension and brings you the power of change and ascension while still embodied. She's here to assist you in letting go of the old in yourself, so the identity that you have held dear can be released and transmuted into a new form. Whatever, for me, that means change is coming, change is available, and change is critical. I saw this really painful thing today on Facebook from a knitting store in Tennessee. They posted that if you're coming in here to buy pink wool to knit those hats, don't come in here. Don't ever come back. It was heartbreaking. And I think in the face of this shit pile of heartbreaking things that are going to cross our eyeballs and impact our lives now and for who knows how long, I think being open to change and being available for each other is one of the most important. I think we have to. I don't think we have a choice. Otherwise, it will be too miserable.
I'm very relaxed. I'm continuing to do this.
I see that you are.
21, but I'm like totally relaxed doing this
Good.
massage.
Good. I got that book that you told me about, Sharon, and I'm using some of her stuff as well. So yeah, it's nice to share. It's nice to share these techniques.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just take a breath together, and I want to say with deep appreciation how grateful I am to be with you doing this circle as the new moon in Aquarius approaches, and I'm going to keep moving with this as it morphs and changes, and we'll be back here right before the full moon. Blessed be. Oh, and Sharon, do you want to say something to close?
No, just thank you.
Oh, thank you. All right, I'll end the recording.
Okay.